of it, can you? This is the first time we have this characteristic. Now also apparently my research was a strong existence of tensions and dilemmas. Now what do we do with these children? Yes, we want them in our schools, but what do we do with them? And the first one, for example, there were people that thought, yes, we have educational ideals. We want all children in the same school, but what is it that we do with them? We're expected to teach them individualized program, modify their programs, but when it comes to the exams, we also feel the same way. So, what is it that we can do there? The second one, which comes as no surprise, there's a strong tension between what is published in government rhetoric and what is actually in practice. For example, and there's a strong majority versus minority dilemma there. As a policymaker, whose needs do I put first? You know, all the children, or this small majority of children who still may have needs. So you have this across funding, across examination issues. Should I have a special exam for them? Should I have a public plan? And in a teacher, whose needs do I put first? The 28 students in my class, or the 2 there who are struggling? And as a teacher, you think about exam pressures, and are you going to be branded a bad teacher if you teach these 2 children, or you focus on these 28, or vice versa? And the third tension is this great diversity of views. Some individuals feel that we should have a special school. Some feel that we should have special classes in the mainstream, and some feel that we can teach all in the same. There's a huge diversity of different views, all of which can contribute to the movement of inclusion in Brunei. Now, I put this last slide mainly because I wanted to share my experiences of being in the field. And I thought this might be useful to some of you who might be thinking of going out into the field and doing similar studies, especially those with almost a qualitative interest. The first one is, I came to Brunei, I started my research, I came to Brunei to basically field work. And I came with an expectation that nobody would speak to me because it's a very politically and emotionally sensitive topic. No one wants to be seen as discriminatory. So I expected people would be, would say socially desirable responses that would say, yes, I really want to promote inclusion. But I was surprised when I went actually to the field that I found it was like opening a can of worms. Like teachers were actually opening up, they were saying, we don't really want these children in our classes. What do we do with them? We don't know. And it was very interesting to me because this is Brunei is a very closed, a very, people are concerned with the impressions that they make, just in case, there's repercussions, so that actually made me happy because I could get honest responses from people. And the way to do this is to be completely open. I am a university research student. I know I have 2 shoes on, and my ministry hat on, and my 2 hats on. My ministry hat on and my research hat. But for this research, I have my researcher's hat on. And it's up to you to convince your participants. Direct versus indirect methods of inquiry. I've done a lot of case studies of Cikgu, if you had this anaknya, sekiranya tak, ia ada masalah ni, what would you do? Now teachers were more like very skeptical of this thing. Oh, what is she trying to get this? So I felt that by using direct methods, I just came up to him and said, Cikgu, okay, anak yang 2 orang di belakang tu, Cikgu, what would you do with them? How do you feel with them being in your class? So relate it to personal experiences, which made it more meaningful for teachers. Now, in terms of recruitment of participants, I think my supervisor prides me in getting this because I got a very high response rate. I think this was attributed to the fact that I actually went out and talked to a lot of people before the research. I got them interested. I gave them a sense of ownership. I was like, look, come on, you have a chance to speak your mind. You have an opportunity to talk about your concerns. And who knows, someone might listen, and there might be changes. So I made a lot of connections with people, and I think that really helped. Now, accessing gatekeepers, I'm glad someone brought this up because it was actually very, very difficult to get access, and there were lots of gatekeepers, even though I had my degree of education hat. Not because people didn't want to help. People were scared, people didn't know what to do, and people were unsure whether they should become, I don't know, confidential, things macam itu. But it all came down to your power of persuasion, and it leads on to my next point, which is the insider-outsider continuum. In the literature, there's a lot about being an insider and outsider, and the various advantages, disadvantages. My advice to someone who probably has a similar background to me is use it to your advantage. You can be both an insider and an outsider at the same time, so very much use it to your advantage and get whatever you can. This continuum, this insider-outsider, it's not a simple binary as I thought. It's not you're either an outsider or an insider. It's in flux. You can be both at the same time, so be aware of that when you're doing research. My third point is ethics. It's very important to honor ethics. I had a lot of people going, dalam ko interview anunya, apa tu cakap niya? Things like that. So it's very important for you to stand at it. I can't tell you, I'm sorry. It's against ethical background. I couldn't reveal my participants because they were very senior. They would be known, identifiable. And I think that's it. Thank you very much.